Hey, it's Nikki Thompson and welcome to this live workshop. This is all about feeling numb and how to stop living on autopilot. Now, this is a workshop I planned about a month ago because I felt as though the women I was seeing and the women I was talking to and just seeing the things on social media and from my own experience, it's like we're feeling numb. We're wanting to kind of get out of the same of life, and things are starting to shift this year. More than anything, things are starting to shift. So as you come on, I would love you to let me know where you're at. Whereabouts are you living? Where are you coming from? Where are you joining in from today? And if you are watching the replay, I would love for you to put hashtag replay in the comments below when you watch this. And I would love to know what you get out of today's training, because I love looking back to see what people actually get from it. You know, when you say something, you anticipate what people are going to learn from it, but it's usually quite different to what they actually get out of it, depending on where they're from and what what situation they're in right now. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will answer them as I go through. And if you're watching the replay, I will answer them as soon as possible. Like I'll be reading them and responding in the comments. So this workshop, a few little things, is available for you to watch for the next 48 hours. So it'll come down on Wednesday at 12 o'clock. So if you don't get to watch all of it right now, you've got 2 full days to watch it and join in the conversation. So I urge you to make some time to watch it. I don't know exactly how long it's going to go. It's anywhere from half hour to an hour. So I suggest you have a bit of a notebook if you want to write down things that really inspire you or kind of get you thinking about, getting out of living on autopilot, because that is something I feel like everyone needs to be able to get out of, because you want to have a life that's full of pleasure and fun and excitement. But when we're living in autopilot, it feels everything but that. So I will share this after the video, but I was just about to share on social media and do all that fun stuff. But let me know where you're at. Where are you watching from? That's always exciting, always fun and exciting. So a little bit about me. If you're new to this page, if you're new to me, new to this kind of workshop, I am a sexual energy coach. I work with women who are feeling stuck. They're feeling like they can tick off all of these things on their to-do list, or they can, make shit happen, but it's not the shit that they really want to be happening in their life. So we tend to absorb all of the influences from everyone around us, me included. And this usually starts from when we're a child. We listen to what our parents want from us, our friends, our family, colleagues, friends at school, all of those types of things right throughout our life, that we start listening to what everyone else wants for us. And then we create this life that is aimed at pleasing everybody else because it's based on what everyone else wanted for us. But it's not what we wanted. And this is usually where we get to a point of feeling numb, because we have been living this life for everybody else, but not for ourselves. And that is exactly where I was several years ago. I had ticked off everything on my to-do list. I had finished high school. I'd got 2 degrees. I got married. I bought the house, had the children. All of those types of things were happening in my life. And yet I felt as so disconnected. I felt numb. I remember just thinking, what the fuck? Like, why am I not ecstatically happy right now? Because I've done all of the things. I have all of the things in my life that I really, 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 really wanted. But when I looked around, it wasn't what I really wanted. I remember growing up always wanting to be a teacher. I've always wanted to be a teacher. But my family weren't so thrilled on the idea of being a teacher. It's like, teachers aren't going to make enough money. Isn't that going to be, you're so smart. You could be doing so many other things with your life. And so I ended up doing a business degree in marketing, did that, finished that, nailed it, because that's the type of personality I am. I like to just go all in when I do put anything on my list of things to achieve. And I remember finishing my degree and I went and traveled. I lived over in the UK for a year, traveled around Europe, did all those fun things around Canada as well. And I remember sitting on the steps in London of this beautiful cathedral thinking, fuck, this is just so beautiful. And I was with a friend of mine and he just said to me, he's like, so what are you going to do when you get home? And I was just like, all I want to do is be a teacher. That's all I want to do. I was looking at trying to enroll at Cambridge University to study a postgrad and get my teaching degree, but it's like phenomenally expensive being an international student. And so I started researching and I ended up coming home and I'd enrolled at university before I even got home, before I had the opportunity for anyone to tell me what I should be doing with my life, before anyone could have their opinion, I guess. And I studied to become a teacher. And in that same year, my mum passed away from cancer and it was a really full-on year. But I became a teacher and I was living, doing what I really wanted to do. However, it wasn't that easy and I started doubting it all. I started doubting my questions and feeling as though, I became a mum myself not long after that. And really struggling to be a teacher and be a mum and do all of the things and be the woman that I wanted to be. And so over the years, I just kind of withdrew a lot and just started living day to day, really. And life wasn't that fun. I used to be so fun. And I remember sitting there one night thinking, holy shit, I used to be such a fun person. What happened? What happened? I used to love going out. I used to love dancing. I used to love doing all these things and I just wasn't doing any of that. And so a few years ago, it got to a point, it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to do something really fun with my life. I wanted to start to do something. And I was breastfeeding my third child in the middle of the night and I was scrolling and I came across this orgasm challenge, and it was a 30-day orgasm challenge, which does sound quite intense, and it was, I'm not going to lie. But the goal was not about the sex. The goal was about reconnecting with your physical body, to tune back into yourself, to really think about what it is that you find pleasure, dedicating time to yourself and actually making that happen, dedicating time purely just for pleasure, for no other reason, not to get anything done, not to be productive, nothing else. So this orgasm challenge was like the starting point for me in order to start to make time to find pleasure in my life, to really acknowledge that I could have pleasure on my own, that it was something that I really wanted to do, that no one else was impacting that decision, that no one else was being influenced by that decision, and that it was my time. And so I did this 30-day orgasm challenge and it really changed so much in me. I started to have more energy. I started to want to take care of how I was dressing. I was tuning so deeply into my own sexual energy and listening to my intuition again and really honoring what I wanted. And that was the starting point for me to stop living in that numb state, stop living on autopilot, because it was all about me and what I wanted and who I was. And obviously you can get to this point and start to think about what it is that you really want, but it takes so much practice. It's a daily practice to really listen, tune in, and really acknowledge what it is that you want and trusting your decisions. And when I start to doubt myself, I have to really work hard to get back to trusting myself. One of the things I do, which keeps me living or kept me living in that autopilot, and I sense that sometimes I do it a bit more now as well, I kind of go in waves and have to remind myself to stop doing it, is to ask so many people for their opinion about a decision I'm trying to make, because I don't trust my decision and I feel as though I want other people to help me make that decision. So part of that living on autopilot problem is that we ask all of these people around us, close family and friends, which is a valid kind of source of information and support, but we ask them all around us what we should do, And we start getting, again, all of the outside influences on the decision that we're trying to make, which then clouds our own intuition. It clouds our gut instinct. It clouds our own sexual energy. And it then doesn't help us make a clear decision. It doesn't help us make the decision that we really want, that is based on who we are and what we want for our life. And so when we start to ask lots of people for their opinion and take it on board, we stay in that kind of autopilot state. We have to be able to trust ourselves before we can move out of autopilot. Because when we trust ourselves, amazing fucking things will happen. When we trust our decisions, and this becomes our default kind of setting, is to make a decision, trust it, move forward, shit really happens. Good things really happen because we know that whatever happens, we can handle it. Whatever happens, we can just make another decision and redirect our path and get back on track. Because when we are seeking outside influences, outside support or information, guidance, all of that kind of thing, all of the time for significant decisions, we are just getting what they would do in that situation. They're not living in our shoes. They're not living our life. And they can't make that decision for us. But we're doing that because we're not trusting ourselves enough. So we need to reconnect with our physical body and listen to our intuition, listen to our gut. And sometimes it gets super, super cloudy. Sometimes it gets so cloudy that we can't hear what it is that we do truly want because we're not trusting ourselves, because we're being bombarded with other people's information. And often we're being bombarded with expectations, what expectations we have of ourselves, what we start comparing ourselves to other people. This is particularly through social media. We're comparing to, oh my goodness, this person was doing this and now look at what they're doing now, and how come I'm not doing that? And oh my goodness, they've got this most amazing bedspread, I don't know, indoor plants, whatever it is that tickles your fancy at the moment. And how come I don't have that? Maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I'm not organized enough. How come their kids are reading at this point and mine aren't? You know, whatever it is, we start comparing ourselves and we stop trusting ourselves. And this is another step that we need to take in order to get out of that state of autopilot. So if you are kind of feeling stuck, usually we need to we need to stop and break away from those sources that we are comparing ourselves to, or getting too much feedback from people when we're trying to make a decision. This is like the biggest step, but we need to start working on trusting ourselves first. We need to start working on understanding who we are and what we truly want. And we can only do that by tapping in, tuning into ourselves. And this is one of the things that I love talking about and love guiding women through. So last month we did the Pleasure Program, which is an online program. It goes for 3 days. And in that program, the whole concept of that program is to flip our default setting to having pleasure, rather than constantly comparing and overwhelm and restricting and creating this kind of space where we feel like we just can't have fun anymore. We want to switch our default setting to one of pleasure. And that's what we do in the Pleasure Program. It's 3 days. It's intense. It's about an hour every single day. And this program, I've seen women shift. A woman, she quit her job and she's now got a job that she's loving, and nowhere near as much stress as what she had before. We've had women who have started their own business because they wanted to be home with their children, and one who's been able to grow her business during COVID because she was able to listen to what it is that she really wanted, rather than taking on the advice of family and friends who have a different opinion for what they wanted for her life. And the problem is that when we start taking on all of these people's opinions, it doesn't create a life that they're going to be happy with, which is why we often take their opinion. We want to make people happy. That tends to be our default setting, is we want to make other people happy. But it dilutes our own spark. It dilutes our own creativity. It dilutes our own fun and pleasure in our life, because it's like this person's perspective is different to this person and this person and this person and this person. And then we just get so confused and we get so clouded, and our decisions just become harder and harder to make. And so when we can tune into ourselves, kind of turn that tap off of everyone else's influence, then we can start to define what it is that we want. So you've joined this workshop for a reason. You feel as though maybe you're living like you're in this numb state, you're on autopilot. But the first step is to work out, what is it that you do actually want? And that's a very fucking hard question. I ran a workshop, an in-person workshop, which was very cool because we actually got to see people IRL. And this workshop, we're like, okay, so what is pleasure to you? And I had 10 women there, and everyone's like, I don't know what's fun for me anymore. And I was like, holy shit. Here I was thinking that we're just going to be talking about pleasure and how to have more pleasure in our life. But I realized we're like a whole step. We need to do a whole step before that. We need to even work out what is pleasure in our life. How do we even find that? How do we even know what that is if we haven't had that in our life for a long time? And that's what the pleasure program is all about, is surrounding yourself with ideas, but also surrounding yourself with a pleasure practice to start to hone in on that, to start to create that as your default setting, incorporating practices and routines into your life that are pleasure based. I mean, you're probably really good at having an amazing morning routine or an evening routine or a planning routine and all of these different routines. You're probably really good at restricting and doing making sure you only eat certain things. But have you thought about what kind of pleasure routine you need to incorporate into your day so that you're not living on autopilot, so you're not feeling numb all of the time? That is what this is all about. So I would love to, I'll share a bit more detail about that in a second. But the whole point is that we feel as though we have to kind of move this mountain or get through this mountain. Like we feel when we're living in this numb state, feeling like we're on autopilot, even if we do have a vision or a dream of what we really want, we feel like as though it's like this massive mountain that we've got to get over. And that in itself can be so overwhelming. We see these women who are fucking killing it in life or in business and parenting and finances, whatever it is that you're kind of really wanting to work on. And we wonder, how do they get there? How do they do that? How do they, why is it so hard? Like, it doesn't have to be that difficult. And I still remember seeing this woman. We've been in like an online group together for about 8 years. We both had a child at the same time. And she's just like killing it in business. And I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, how is she doing this? Like, we both have 3 children and she's just like nailing it. And I just couldn't believe it. And then I remember talking to her and she's like, oh, it's really easy. It doesn't have to be as hard as what you think it is. And I was like, that is bullshit. Like, anything that is, kind of this amazing feat or amazing achievement has to be difficult. But she really taught me something in just saying, oh, it can be easy. It was actually easy once I switched things around. She's like, I was trying to do it the hard way, but it can be easy. And I was just like, oh my God, why am I making it so difficult? Restrictions and all of that kind of stuff in my life when it comes to trying to lose weight and do all these things. It's like restrict, instead of have more fun, have more pleasure. Because when you're having more pleasure, you want to take better care of yourself. When you're having more pleasure, people are more attracted to you in business, in life, whatever it is. When you're having more pleasure, you're a better mother. And so your kids want to have more fun with you. When you're having more pleasure, you're a better partner because they want to hang out with you more. And I know that you've probably been in a situation where you're at a party or something like that, and someone's just like owning their shit. They walk in, they're confident, and you're like, wow, everyone wants to talk to them, right? They're so magnetic is because they own themselves. They know who they are. They know what they want. And they've got this, they like exude this confidence or this X factor. And that's what pleasure is really about, is about owning it, owning yourself, owning what you want, who you are, what you want. And that is the goal. For me, I have not lost any weight in the last few months. In fact, I've actually gained weight. But I am fitter than I was before. I'm healthier. I feel better in my body. I love getting dressed up, love my boobs. I'm like, love dressing up so that, you know, they're on display and I feel sexy. I feel like I'm more fun. And that is what pleasure is to me. That is what pleasure, that is the pinnacle of pleasure, is when I feel like I'm a fun person. I like hanging out with myself. I like hanging out with other people. I like having fun in my day. My mornings are beautiful. I fucking love my mornings because they're filled with things that I love to do. And so that is what I want for you. I want your days, I want you to be jumping out of bed thinking, yes, this is awesome. I want you to feel like a fun person again. I want you to have a dedicated pleasure ritual routine in your life, in your days, weeks, months, years. What is fun for you? And it's about finding what that is. And if you need help, if you feel like this is it, this is what I've been needing, this is, you know, I'm sick of living like this is what I really, really want, then the pleasure program is definitely what I encourage you to join in for. Now, it's only open every 2 months, right? So it's starting again next Monday, the 30th of November. And the price is $111 only for the next 48 hours. So on Wednesday, the 25th of November, that's 2 days after this live training, the price goes up to $222. So that is in Australian dollars. So if you're in America, it's less than that, but you can go and check it out on the website. And I will put the link in the comments below this video on how you can join in, because I would love for you to join in. So a few details about the program. The trainings there are 3 trainings and they will be dropped in each day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, starting from next Monday inside this Facebook group. And then there will also be a live Q&A call the following Monday. Now, these are all available to you with lifetime access. So you will get it. It's run every 2 months. So you'll be able to continue to watch it, continue being inspired if you'd like to, and join in the women who are doing the program. So you can do the live Q&A calls. So if you have questions and you want to kind of share feedback, all of that kind of stuff, we'll have a live Q&A call, which will be scheduled inside the group. So you get all the details. As soon as you sign up, you'll get a link to the group and you can request access to join the group, and I will let you into that space. There's daily homework tasks. You have time to do it whenever you want to do it, but I urge you to kind of do 3 days in a row, because it's all about committing. It's about committing to you and your pleasure practice, because that's what we want. That's how life is meant to be, especially when I talk about our feminine energy, our sexual energy. It's all about pleasure. It's all about having pleasure in our bodies. It's about having pleasure in our life, in our business, in our families, in all of the things that we do, because that is how life was meant to be lived. It's meant to be really, really fun. So I will put a link to the comments below. If you have any questions, send me a message. But the special offer, it's $111 until Wednesday at 12 o'clock. So this Wednesday, so for 48 hours, it'll be available for $111, and then it'll go up to $222. And enrollments will close just before the course starts on Monday next week. So you have a whole week to make that decision, but I urge you to take advantage of the special offer for the next 48 hours. It is going to be amazing. The feedback I've had from this program is amazing. And it's definitely something I want to see women joining in before the Christmas holidays, when shit gets real. People get stressed. People kind of get really anxious and feel as though they're just like that, you know, everyone else is having fun except for them. The whole point of the holiday season is so that we're all having fun. And I really feel like this could shift for you if that is a big kind of stress point for you. If the December, January time is really stressful for you, then I urge you to check this out. Now, if you have any questions, I would love to hear them. You can message me, you can comment, you can do whatever the hell you want, really. You got to find me on social media, you can find me on email. I'm sure you could work it all out. But I would love to welcome you into this program. It is absolutely my favorite program. I have 2 programs. This is my favorite one. The Vibe program is the other program, which will be running in January. And this one I just know is going to set you up for, you know, just ending this year in a new space, so that 2020 was not a waste of a year. That 2020 is going to be the year that you had a lot of fun. So if you want to join in, I will put the link below the comments. And if you have questions, let me know. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for you to join in. Now, I hope you have the most incredible week. I will be back. I'm always on video every day, pretty much. And yeah, I'm really excited. I don't want to see you living on autopilot. I don't want to see you feeling numb, because I hated that feeling. And living life now in this space of kind of abundance and pleasure and excitement and passion, this is my default, and this is what I love, and this is where I would love for you to be as well. So have an amazing day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.